Hello and welcome to the Tennessee State Funding Board of March 25th, 2024. Uh, While we do anticipate the arrival of the treasurer, we do have a quorum, and so we'll begin today. I would like to note there is a physical quorum present with the Secretary, Commissioner, and myself. As we begin today, I'll ask to make sure, to my knowledge, we have not received any requests for public comment. Is that still the case?
That's correct.
Of course, according to policy, there is a deadline for that, and we did not receive any requests for public comment. So the first item on our agenda today is consideration for approval of minutes from the December 14th, 2023 meeting. Members, I hope you took time to review those in the packet provided to you before we got here. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Unless there's any discussion, seeing none, I will ask all those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. The minutes are approved. Next on the agenda today, we have a report from the Department of Economic and Community Development for approval of funding for looks like 7 fast track projects. Members, unless there are any objections, I'll ask that Commissioner, you present all 7 projects and then we'll vote on them as a group. But I'd like to invite Commissioner Recorder come down, and I know you have others with you that you might want to present first. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Stuart McWhorter, Commissioner of Economic and Community Development. With me is Jessica Johnson, Assistant Commissioner, and Jamie Stitt, Assistant Commissioner with the department. I'll hand it over to Jessica to walk through the balance of funds.
You're recognized. Thank you.
Thank you. Our, the following is our fast track state board report financial. The previous fast track balance as of the last report was $674.4 million. Newly deobligated funds, $1,031,691.39. We had $22.9 million of funds transferred from Fast Track. Our Fast Track grant and loans approved greater than $750,000 or $32 million. Our Fast Track grants and loan approved less than $750,000, $6.7 million. Our Fast Track administration is $767,477.19, bringing our adjusted Fast Track balance available to $612,934,762.11. Our total amount of commitments is $548,164,124.91, bringing our uncommitted balance to $64,770,637.20, making our committed percentage 89.4%. Today, for your consideration, the amount of grants we propose amount to $10,258,887, which would bring our uncommitted fast track balance, if approved as proposed, to $54,511,750.20 and a percent committed of 91.1%.
Very good. Thank you, members. Any questions there? If not, keep on keeping on.
Thank you. As you mentioned, Chairman, Mr. Chairman, first of 7 projects, Bridgetown Natural Foods, Mount Juliet, Wilson County. Bridgetown Natural Foods is headquartered in Portland, Oregon. The company specializes in manufacturing and distributing its innovative and sustainable food products to customers across the United States. The company's new facility will house multiple manufacturing lines, which will produce nearly 100 million pounds of all natural, organic, gluten-free snack brands annually. It's a lot. Optimizing the distribution for the company to the East Coast. The company is committed to create 219 net new jobs and make just over a $78 million capital investment within 5 years. The company will have an average hourly wage of $22.13 for these new positions, which compares to the county median wage of $18.30 an hour. Fast Track Job Training Assistant Program funds will be used to train the net new full-time employees for a total of $1.3 million, just over $1.3 million. Second project, actually, it's Schneider Electric. There's two independent separate projects under Schneider. The investment in both Tennessee locations will strengthen the production capacity. Schneider Electric plans to expand the Smyrna, Rutherford County project. Will create 100 new jobs at its Rutherford County location and make a $2.95 million capital investment within 5 years. The company will have an average hourly wage of $24.52 an hour versus the county median wage of $18.88 an hour. The second Schneider Electric project is, let me back up. The Fast Track Job Training Assistance Program funds will be used to train the net new jobs for these 100 new jobs for $400,000. The second Schneider Electric USA project is in Mount Juliet, Wilson County. This particular project will create 355 new jobs as the company locates a new facility on the Maddox Road location in Wilson County and make an $82 million capital investment within 5 years. The company will have an average hourly wage of $26.01 for the new positions versus $18.30 an hour for the county median wage. The Fast Track Economic Development Grant Fund will help offset expenses such as building retrofit, building expansion improvements, fixture improvements for a total of $3 million. Upon completion, so everybody knows, Schneider Electric will employ more than 1,900 Tennesseans across its facilities in Franklin, Maryville, Memphis, Smyrna, and Mount Juliet. The fourth is AYM Inc. in Bristol, Sullivan County. AY McDonald Manufacturing is a major manufacturer of waterworks, valves and fittings, plumbing supplies, natural gas meter bars, valves, and residential and commercial water pumping systems. This new production facility will allow the company retain their 270 current employees as well as add additional jobs. These additional jobs will create 96 net new jobs and make a $53.5 million capital investment within 5 years. The company will have an average hourly wage of $19.62 for the new positions compared to the county median wage of $18.22. Fast Track Economic Development Grant funds will help offset expenses such as new building construction for a total of $900,000. The fifth project is Shoals Technologies Group, Portland, Tennessee, Sumner County. Headquartered in Portland, Tennessee, Shoals Technology Groups is a leading electrical balance of systems provider of solar energy storage and e-mobility. The company will expand its existing manufacturing and distribution operations to a new, larger location in Portland. Shoals Technologies Groups has committed to create 551 net new jobs and make an $80 million capital investment within 5 years. The company will have an average hourly wage of $36.15, pretty remarkable for Portland, compared to the $18.67 per hour county median wage. Fast Track Job Training Assistant Program funds will be used to train the net new full-time employees for a total of $2.499 million. Sixth project is A.O. Smith Corporation. I think we're all familiar with A.O. Smith. This one's in Ashland City and Cheatham County. As you all know, A.O. Smith Corporation is a leading global manufacturer and marketer of residential and commercial water heaters. As part of their continued success and growth, A.O. Smith Corporation has committed to create 130 net new jobs and make a $42.7 million capital investment within 5 years. The company will have an average hourly wage of $23.98 for these new positions compared to the county median wage of $19.72 an hour. Fast Track Job Training Assistant Program funds will be used to train the net new full-time employees for a total of $520,000. And last but not least is Nokian Tires, U.S. operations in Dayton, Tennessee, Ray County. Nokian Tires develops and manufactures and distributes its premium tires worldwide with operations in Europe and North America. company, which opened its first U.S. factory in Dayton in 2020, will create an additional 175 new jobs in Ray County, increasing its total headcount in Southeast Tennessee to approximately 575 employees. The company will make a $174 million capital investment within 5 years and will have a $20.23 average hourly wage for these new positions compared to the county median wage of $18.37 an hour. Fast Track Job Training Assistance Program funds will be used to train the net new full-time employees for a total of $1.6 million. That wraps up the 7 projects that we have to report.
Thank you very much. Sound like 7 great projects there. Members, any comments, questions, or discussions? Need a motion to approve the
moved.
projects. And so we have a motion properly seconded. Let me ask again, are there any comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving let me ask, I do want to ask again for the record, Commissioner, for you, have the companies that you described here, have they all signed the incentive acceptance forms and do they fully understand the agreements?
They have, yes.
Have the checklists been completed for each project?
Yes.
And do the projects that you described today all include accountability agreements which provide protections to the state in the event the entities could not fulfill their end of the deal?
They do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, I'll ask all those in favor of approving the 7 items as described, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The items are approved.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Well,
Next on the agenda today, we have presentation of the staff analysis of an economic report to the governor of the state of Tennessee. William Wood is here to present. William, come on down and you are recognized.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is William Wood. I'm a financial analyst with the Comptroller of the Treasury. So pursuant to law, funding board staff is required to comment on the reasonableness of the economic forecast contained in the economic report to the governor that's published by UT Center for Business and Economic Research. This analysis was accomplished by comparing the forecast in the report with other forecasts made by governmental and non-governmental organizations. Based on this review, the economic report's forecast for Tennessee nominal personal income growth of 5.6% for fiscal year 2024, 5.09% for calendar year 2024, and 4.98% for calendar year 2025 are not unreasonable.
Very good. Thank you very much. And members, and for those of you tuning in, we have been provided, of course, this report is just described by William, as well as a list identifying state tax and non-tax revenue sources from the Attorney General pursuant to Tennessee Code, and a letter from the University of Tennessee Haslam College of Business, which details Tennessee personal income facts and data, again, as required. William, thank you for the report. Members, any questions, comments? If not, while there's no vote necessary, by hearing your report today, William, we will acknowledge and consider ourselves as having commented as to the reasonableness of the estimates. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda today, we have a report on the second notice of default of conduit financing debt obligation by the Industrial Development Board of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County. Steve Osborne is here to present. Steve, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. Steve Osborne, Assistant Director of the Division of Local Government Finance in the Comptroller's Office. Metro Nashville Industrial Development Board filed a notice in connection with insufficiency of funds for their Series 2015 tax increment revenue bonds for the Bellevue Mall project. This is their second notice of default on these bonds. The entity reported December 1, 2023 interest payment, $395,405 short. And they reported that incremental revenues may be insufficient on future debt service payments. So reminder, the failure to make payments in this series of bonds when TIF revenue is insufficient is not a default under the bond indenture. Any questions?
Members, you have heard the report. This is a report item. It doesn't take a vote or anything like that. One question I have is when we had repeat instances like this in a Shelby County default, we asked one of the attorneys for the project to come, and he did appear, I think, at your December meeting and make a report. Is that correct? Am I remembering that timeline? Yes. And I guess I would just ask whether any member would like to see the same for someone representing this project. If you do, why don't you notify Sandy Thompson in advance of our next funding board meeting, and we can make that request. Any other comments or questions? If not, Steve, thank you very much. We will acknowledge the report.
Would you like the update on the Graceland bonds?
You can, if you have that available, yes.
Very quickly, a question was raised, and so we researched the January 1st payment for the Graceland bonds. All series of bonds, A, B, C, and D, I should say, were made, and they made the past 2023 principal payment, $720,000 on the Series A bonds that was late. All I have.
Very good. Members, any comments or questions there? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Next on our funding board agenda today, we have acknowledgement of receipt of the State of Tennessee Cash Management Improvement Act Annual Report for State Fiscal Year 2023. Sandy Thompson, I'll ask you to report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. You all, as board members, would have received a copy of this annual report earlier this year, which is the Cash Management Improvement Act Annual Report Act for State Fiscal Year 2023. It's enclosed for your review or your re-review, and all we're doing is just asking that you acknowledge receipt of this report. There's no action necessary.
Thank you very much, members. You were provided a copy of this report prior to the meeting today. I hope you took time to review it. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, again, this is a report item, and we acknowledge receipt of the report. Thank you very much. Unless members, any of you have any other questions, comments, or ideas, the only other thing on our funding board agenda today is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Have a motion and second to adjourn, non-debatable. All those in favor of adjournment, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. The funding board is adjourned.